This extensive conversation with Jocko Willink covers his journey from a rebellious kid in New England to becoming a decorated Navy SEAL officer and leader of the renowned SEAL Team-3 task unit Bruiser during the Iraq War. The discussion dives deep into his military career, leadership philosophies, combat experiences in Ramadi, transition to civilian life, entrepreneurial ventures, and reflections on contemporary societal issues. Jocko grew up in a small town in New England, raised by schoolteacher parents, and was a middle child with two sisters. Rebellious in nature with a love for hardcore and heavy metal music, he sought an outlet for his energy and aggression early on. His fascination with commando figures and military imagery sparked a lifelong dream to join the Navy SEALs. Enlisting at 18 in 1990, Jocko attended boot camp and then Bud S, where despite not being the fastest or strongest, his perseverance and mindset carried him through. He learned early the necessity to trust, work hard, and never quit. After several enlisted SEAL deployments, including significant time in Guam and shipboard assignments, Jocko was selected for the SEAL officer program. Upon commissioning in 1998, he transitioned to SEAL Team 2 on the East Coast and immediately deployed to Europe, supporting operations. These experiences broadened his tactical and operational understanding and offered insight into the importance of communication between officers and enlisted personnel, a skill Jocko attributes to his dual fluency in E5 Mafia and officer language. Early combat leadership lessons were reinforced by watching contrasting leadership styles, recognizing the value of humility, shared responsibility, and fostering trust with subordinates. Jocko's first combat deployments to Iraq included a platoon leadership role during the initial invasion and stabilization phases. He reflected on the mentality of waiting years for combat versus his own era when deployments were frequent and kinetic engagements more common. His initial forays into Baghdad necessitated rapid adaptation to the brutal reality of urban warfare, escalating from low-intensity actions to direct and lethal engagements. Pressure was omnipresent, but balanced by commitment to his men and mission. Eventually taking command of Task Unit Bruiser, an amalgamation of two SEAL platoons recognized as the most decorated special operations unit in the Iraq War, Jocko and his team were deployed to Ramadi, one of the war's hot zones. There, they faced daily contact, IED threats, and intense combat, operating intimately alongside Army and Marine units. Jocko shared harrowing accounts, including a disastrous blue-on-blue incident, emphasizing the leadership burden of taking full responsibility for such events. The unit leveraged sniper overwatch and combined operations to clear neighborhoods, applying lessons learned rigorously to reduce friendly fire and civilian harm. The deployment involved heavy casualties among team members and allied forces, creating emotional and psychological challenges compounded by relentless operational tempo. Throughout his narrative, Jocko highlighted the essential elements of leadership: respect, trust, ownership, humility, and clear communication. He refrained from ego-driven command, instead prioritizing empowerment and clarity in the fight. The importance of owning mistakes was a recurring theme, with Jocko holding himself accountable for all outcomes under his command, which in turn strengthened trust with his troops. He described how he gradually built trust in his platoon commanders and key enlisted leaders by incrementally delegating responsibilities. His approach to leadership was deeply influenced by veterans and mentors like Colonel David Hackworth, who advocated for redefining unit identity and fostering a shared purpose. Jocko reflected candidly on the difficulty of balancing military command and family life. Married with 4 children during some of his toughest assignments, the SEAL teams were his primary commitment and his family's secondary, relying on his wife's support in managing the home front. The sacrifices involved in deployment cycles and the emotional strain of separation weighed heavily on him, contributing to his decision to retire in 2010 after 20 years of service. Post-retirement, Jocko initially planned a simple life focused on family, surfing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and running an academy. A leadership consulting opportunity catalyzed his second career as an influential speaker, author, and entrepreneur. Alongside longtime friends like Leif Babin, he co-wrote the best-selling book Extreme Ownership, translating battlefield leadership principles into business and personal success. The success of their content led to an expansive portfolio, including a podcast, kids' book series, American-made apparel brand Origin USA, and a supplement company, Jocko Fuel. These endeavors embody a mission to promote discipline, responsibility, and patriotism while creating jobs and honoring military values. Jocko shared thoughtful perspectives on the state of social discourse today, critiquing the divisiveness amplified by social media algorithms that favor emotional, especially angry content. He advocated for empathy and genuine listening to bridge divides, underscoring the importance of seeking common ground amid polarized viewpoints. Jocko emphasized the power of personal responsibility, hard work, and choosing to play the right game in life to find fulfillment and success. He cautioned against dwelling on setbacks and encouraged turning challenges into personal stories of growth and legacy. Throughout the conversation, Jocko paid tribute to fallen comrades like Mark Lee, Mikey Mansour, and Ryan Job, weaving their memories into his children's books to pass on lessons of courage and discipline to younger generations. He honored the conventional warfighters alongside special operators, recognizing their sacrifices and extraordinary service. Additionally, he recommended guests whose stories help illuminate the grit and sacrifice of infantry soldiers, particularly from Vietnam, bringing attention to less publicized but equally significant military contributions. Jocko discussed the upcoming theatrical release of the Warrior Kid movie based on his popular children's book series. The film, starring Chris Pratt as Uncle Jake, aims to deliver wholesome family entertainment that inspires youth with positive values. The story of Jocko's evolution from reluctant author to creator of a multimedia brand highlights his commitment to influencing culture beyond the military community and into broader society. Ending the conversation, Jocko revealed his ongoing internal struggle balancing his love for the SEAL teams against commitments to family and other life priorities. He reiterated that leadership transcends combat, applying universally in business, parenting, and personal development. His journey exemplifies how discipline, accountability, and respect can empower individuals while contributing meaningfully to society.